Шановні колеги, ми продовжуємо робочий день. До слова.
Dear colleagues, we continue our working day and we are giving the floor to Colonel Andriy Lysenko, Presidential Administration spokesperson on ATO related issues. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. We are offering you the developments in the ATO area and Lugansk sector. The situation remains not calm near Popasna. Militants fired mortars, grenade launchers, and small arms on Ukrainian positions yesterday in Novoalexandrivka and Novozvanivka. In Donetsk sector, low and medium intensity combat actions continue. Enemy's shelling on Avdiivka is ongoing. The enemy uses heavy machine guns, grenade launchers of various systems, and sniper arms. The situation was not calm yesterday in Svetlodar salient, where illegal military formations fired on ATO positions using mortars, APCs, and RPGs. In northern outskirts of Gorlivka, enemy's provocations took place in the nighttime. The enemy didn't use heavy weapons there. To the west of occupied Gorlivka, near Novgorodsky and Troitsk, Russian mercenaries fired in the evening and they launched over 30 mortar mines of 82 and 120 millimeters on Ukrainian army's positions. 20 mines were launched on defensive lines in Nevelsk, which is 8 kilometers to the west of Donetsk airport. Lull was observed in the area of Donetsk airport. A total of 18 times the militants violated ceasefire in the Donetsk sector. According to the military reconnaissance information, the reinforcement soldiers came from Russian Federation to Ukraine. 50 persons from Russian criminal organization Great Dawn Army arrived to Yasenovata. In Mariupol sector, there were 24 enemy shellings yesterday. In Marienka, where militants formations were active in the daytime, as a result of their criminal actions, 2 civilians were injured. Ukrainian law enforcement officers helped to bring the victims to the hospital in Khurakhova. The situation was the worst in Krasnogorinka, where the enemy used tanks, APCs, launched over 80 mines of various calibers. The enemies fired without heavy weapons in other frontline sections in Vodyane, Berezove, Pavlopil, Gnutovo, and Shirokine. Despite danger, the works on neutralizing explosive items continue in Mariupol sector. During last month, our sappers operating in that area neutralized over 1,000 dangerous items, most of them grenade launcher shells and shells of 122 and 152 mortars. Yesterday, there was 1 casualty in Ukrainian army in the southern suburbs of Avdiivka. 5 Ukrainian soldiers were injured near Marienka and Mayorsk. The militants' losses yesterday were as follows. There were 3 casualties and 4 injured soldiers. There were militants from the so-called 11th Separate Motorized Rifle Regiment located in Makiivka and 3rd Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade located in Gorlivka. 3 another militants were injured in road accident in Perevalsk, where the lorry race won over. According to the intelligence information, the driver was under the influence of drugs. Except the losses, the fighting spirit of the enemy decreases because of systematic thefts of construction materials intended for fortification. Due to this, 12 militants decided to flee from the militant formation's ranks. The security service of Ukraine detained a militant and associate of militant formations. The member of illegal military formation of the so-called DPR became a criminal in July 2015. He guarded the hospital of militants, repaired their cars and military equipment, and brought rockets for multiple rocket launchers Grad. And in Lugansk region, the security service detained the entrepreneur who helped the gangster from Ghost Group. Ukrainian military men train and strengthens defensive capacity of the army. In the training grounds, the exercises continue. The military men who were mobilized started training, and they will conduct tactical exercises and live fire training from tanks T-64, APCs and small arms. Ukrainian counterintelligence has been efficient in implementing countermeasures against subverters and Russian spooks. During last year, the security service liquidated 30 military formations and spooks prepared by Russian special services for conducting subversive activities in Ukraine. 13 Russian agents are now waiting punishment, and proceedings have been conducted against them in Ukraine. Ukrainian court has already punished 22 persons, and 9 years of in jail were assigned to the security service officer of Russian Federation. And that's all for today. Thank you. Are there any questions?